Happy Independence Day, America. Happy birthday, America. I'll tell you what, I was loving my freedom today. My freedom to get in this sweet freaking Lund with my wife, cruise around local reservoir, catch some fish, put some points on the board for the July scavenger hunt. Managed to put a smallie in, and I also caught some panfish that didn't meet the minimum, and some rock bass that didn't meet the minimum, but I did get a bluegill later tonight. I did two different sends, two different bodies of water, wreck boats everywhere. Could not imagine trying to fish effectively in my kayak with that kind of noise going on, and it was a little ridiculous. I'll tell you what, it would have been a lot easier had I had spot lock on my trolling motor, but that's an upgrade that's coming. I've got phone calls that need to get made this week, all kinds of stuff. I hope you guys are having a good 4th, enjoying it, you know. Man, I'll tell you what, it feels like the 4th of July, you know what I'm saying? And as if it couldn't just be amazing just because it's the 4th of July, when I got to go do some fishing, I got word today that a certain somebody close to the show, a certain somebody who may or may not be a co-host of this show, yes, it's Who the Fuck is Joe Brown, he caught his new largemouth PB today. He's officially in the 6-pound club. So round of applause for Joe. Very excited for him. I think this is very, very great. And I know he's kind of had that monkey on his back for a little while coming across, breaking that barrier from 5 to 6. But he did it, man. And I'm psyched for him. Anyway, I hope you guys are having yourselves an awesome 4th, being safe, not being stupid. I'm realizing a lot of folks have to work tomorrow, which sucks. Like a lot of people. I have plans to fish tomorrow. I'm going hard. Went real hard today. Going hard tomorrow. I do have to work as well, but it's a little bit of a different animal because I work in the entertainment world, in bars and restaurants. But man, you know, today was so much fun. I'm so glad I got out with my wife. She had an absolute blast. Absolutely loved it. And she is now affectionately referring to herself as the boat bish. So there's that. Had a great conversation with Becca Yassine, Becca Y here on YouTube. We were talking Bluetooth speakers because I really do want a decent Bluetooth speaker for this boat. And she had recently done a video where she had sponsored one, and she was like, you know, I beat the shit out of that thing, and it holds up. And that's what I want to know. Like, does it hold up? Because I got Bluetooth speakers at the house, but they're work items. Like, these aren't your regular, like, oh, I'm just going to listen to some jams while I'm catching some yellow perch kind of Bluetooth speakers. There's nobody watching this thing right now. Nobody cares. Anyway, I'm stoked. I hope you guys are having yourself a hell of a 4th of July. Yeah, it's gonna be one hell of a weekend too. I've got a party this weekend with some family that I'm really looking forward to. I am also really looking forward to trying to put some plans together to fish. I don't think I'm gonna fish Saturday morning, to tell you the truth. I really don't. I would like to, and I have a recorded interview with a guest I've been looking forward to for quite a while. I don't want to mention who it is. Whenever I do, and I mention who the guest is before we record, there's like a hiccup in the schedule or something goes wrong. So I'm gonna shut up, mum's the word. But I've been looking forward to this. This guy is an absolute hammer in the Northeast fishing world. Like, lives fishing. We talk about fishing being a lifestyle, and I mean, he's putting it in motion. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's good stuff. I got all kinds of stuff I got to get caught up on too. I got tournaments that I have to get paid out this week. July is already kicked off, the scavenger hunt and Fishing Chaos. Oh, look at this, Mike Hansen. Forgot to tell you, I involuntarily part of a boat parade today. Oh, really? and have never heard. I'm proud to be an American played on so many pontoons. Oh, of course, that's the jam. Although I am snubbing my nose to the Lee Greenwood proud to be an American, I am instead trying to put all my efforts into making my official Independence Day jam Living in America by James frickin' Brown. That's how I'm doing it. Detroit City, you know what I'm saying? Some of you know what I'm saying. Some of you have no idea what I'm saying. And I'm all right with that. I haven't had a drop of liquor today, but I am feeling like today was just a wonderful day. Like I'll tell you what, the last 2 days, in fact, the primary reason why I was like, yeah, buying a boat, fished with the two people that I needed to get out there and fish with. 8-foot inflatable Uncle Sam. Oh, shut up. Really? On the water? Not on the water. No. I could see somebody doing that on their lawn. I could 100% see somebody doing that shit on their lawn. Discovered a new breed of lake lice. I'm looking forward to looking at that. Lake lice with wings. There's so many lake lice. The spot that I went with my wife today has a reputation of getting pretty hammered with wreck boaters. There's a lot of folks that live on this body of water, and they just get kind of crazy, man, and there are no rules. I felt like when I was getting back to the launch, I felt like I was in like the TIE fighter scene. What do we got here? A bunch of you guys in here. Sigma, hello, how we doing? Good to see you. Strapped to a pontoon. I love America, but like that's got to be somebody who lived on that body of water and was just like, oh, buckle up. You don't know what patriotism is. Oh, I am fantastic. Fantastic. It is, it's been an amazing day. I got to tell you, I'm really excited for this week's show recording on Sunday evening. When we record the Jigs and Bigs podcast, it'll be myself and Joe Brown. I'm not sure if we have a guest host lined up, but we will have an interview segment. All things coming together, so that's going to be good. But we get to hear about Joe's new personal best largemouth, which I'm so stoked for him. I love it. I love it whenever somebody I know hits that next weathered. Are you doing 4th of July? Oh, yeah. I mean, it is the 4th of July, and I'm in America, so I guess I am doing 4th of July. I'm not doing any fireworks or anything like that, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's just say the whole shoreline smelled like White Claw. I can believe it, man. 100% can believe that. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's obnoxious. Bad tans and White Claw, right? Right? They don't use, like, suntan oil in Vermont, do they, Mike? They actually just take maple syrup and go direct to skin and let it, like, go over like a glaze. Is that what they do? They do themselves like hams. Hope you have a great day today. I hope you do too, Lorenzo. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've done 2 trips today out, like one trip in the foothills of the Berkshires and then another trip like legit in the Berkshires, like almost on the New York line. Going to a spot that I love to fish that has a huge diverse population of fish, and I didn't catch a single largemouth today, not at all. Oh yeah, I finally hooked into this one body of water specifically. What is going on back there? You slow your roll. This one body of water I had gone to was a absolute just mess. Wreck boats all over the place, like with the wakes kicking me into the bank. But I had a plan, I went all the way up to one end and then just started working my way back into it and just set my trolling motor to kind of offset the force of the wakes pushing me in here and there. I did have a wonderful conversation with apparently an amateur scientist who claims, despite there being signage at the ramp warning anglers not to eat the fish that they catch out of this pond due to extremely high levels of mercury. This guy apparently has done his own research and proceeded to then tell me that, oh yeah, I eat catfish out of here all the time, and it's, I'm fine. And I looked at him and I said, from the boat, standing up on the casting deck, and I just hit the trolling motor nice and slow as I scooted away. I was like, yeah, you're doing just fine, man. You are doing just fine. Let's just say the conversation I had with this guy made me think that maybe he had a lobotomy at some point or another. I know, it was a mess. Canadian maple. Can't waste the good stuff. Oh, wow. Shots fired. Shots fired. Can't waste the good stuff. Now forever, I'm going to thank the residents of Vermont, citizens of Vermont, just walking around in the summer like glazed hams. Pop that in your White Claw. Oh, what a day. It was a good day. It was a fun day. Hauled the boat all over the place. The wife had such a good time. Launching and loading went very, very smooth. I did have a lovely exchange with a moron putting a sailboat in the water. And you'll hear about that on the show. Yeah, you're going to hear about that on the show. He glows in the dark, but the fish are not full of mercury, pretty much. No, it's not so much glowing in the dark, though, Mike. It's more of a not forming sentences issue. Like that brain, Swiss cheese. Holes all over that place. But he's fine. He's fine. And he was a young kid too. He's probably I'll bet you he was under 20. You know? Yeah, I eat catfish here all the time. I'm fine. Can't form complete sentences, but whatever. There's no more mercury in here. What I should have said, and this is a missed opportunity, I should have pointed to my outboard and said, there's mercury right there. Ba-dum ching. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know who I'm excited to get out on the boat and do some fishing with? Is Sean the Fisherman. Oh, Metal Jones. Oh, how we doing, Metal Jones? Happy 4th of July. America. I'm spilling the beans. I'm sure, Zach, you've already heard. But Joe broke his PB. PB largemouth. I'm stoked for the dude. It was a good weekend all around, I think, for everybody. You know, he's breaking records. I brought queen beef out onto the boat for the first time. She loved it. In fact, on the back casting deck, she actually laid down and took a nap. She didn't fish at all. And I think she was all right with that. I was all right with that. That's fine. But I do think that it's not going to be long before she wants to start slinging a wacky or something like that. Hello, sir. Look at this. It's just a big network. I'm driving home, bringing the wife dinner, and, here I am. We're networking. We're going live. We're fucking live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Like Bill O'Reilly. For those of you that are not lucky enough to live around the Northeast where you can get polar seltzer regularly, this flavor, blackberry mango, just absolutely hits differently than anything else. I feel good. I feel good drinking it. And take your White Claw, shove it up your ass. I'll gladly have one of those and a half-gram pre-roll any day. Teach her to net. She did net my smallmouth. Absolutely, she did a great job with it too. It was kind of funny because we left the launch and we go right over this gorgeous house. And I know that's part of the reason why I chose where we went today, is because the scenery, as far as the homes, absolutely amazing. And I know she was going to get, some entertainment out of checking out the houses. So I go over to this one spot, and I don't fish this place very often, but like from the launch, you can see this. So we go over that way, and I'm like, that dock looks kind of fishy. So I'm, throwing around an 1/8 ounce bladed jig from Jackal, a Darrow break, with this Joe Bros plastic off the back. It's almost like a twin tail grub with like a straight tail down the middle. I forget what the name of it is. I'm gonna look it up because I want to have this info for the show. But what I've been doing is actually taking the curly tails and clipping them off, and clipping like about maybe 1/2 inch or so of the body down to get it a little bit more compact. And I used that as that bladed jig trailer, and it was just getting hammered. I caught a red breast sunfish, absolutely beautiful colors, so like vibrant that when I got it in the boat, my wife was like, that does not look like it's real. Like, it looks like it's plastic, like it's like an artist rendition. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I don't know if like the colors on these fish get ramped up when like they're around the spawn time, but I was like, bluegill spawn on a ridiculous cycle where it's like, I think like every 30 days or something like that. They're you might say they're insatiable. But as far as the red breast, I'm not sure how their spawn habits work, anything like that. I'm not that kind of a sicko, or I'm going to go do a deep dive on the mating habits of individual species of fish, especially when I'm not like targeting that specific of a species. Anyway, so I catch this one, and we're fishing around this one other area, and I'm like, there's so much wood, and I'm just getting hung up with this. Of course, I'm throwing an open hook bladed jig, and I'm throwing a Giltech finesse jig around some of this wood, and I'm getting hung up, and I'm like, you know what? It's not. I'm not getting bit. This isn't worthwhile. Let's go find some grass. I got a feeling that with some grass will be good. Let's see what we can do. So we took a little cruise. Again, I don't have any electronics, and I'm using, actually, what I'm using right now on the boat is my iPad with the Navionics app, just so that I can see some contour lines as I'm going around. This is primarily what I'm using to make sure that I'm not smashing into stuff. In fact, I ordered a waterproof case for that, and a suction cup mount for the windshield of my boat. So this way, I can keep that thing right there. That's going to be my graph, at least for the time being, until we make some decisions on what's going to happen. But I'm trying to do things unique with this build, with this boat. So anyway, I end up finding some grass in this little cove. And we start going down, and this is along where there's campsites and everything, and people, of course, it's holiday, people are camping, and it's, it was a sight to see. So I get along this one edge where there's a bunch of rocks coming out deep, and this nice little drop off. And I figured they were a little bit deeper, so I was looking at where the drop off was, because the water's pretty clear, but it's tannic. So I was throwing a very specific color on a wacky rig. Of a stick bait, very specific color, to kind of play off of that watercolor, and it worked great. It worked fantastic. I think my 4th or 5th cast with it, hooked into the smallie. I was like, oh, that'll keep. We'll go ahead and we'll pop that on the old catch board and enter that sucker. So that was nice. I got a couple other bites further back, but I think that after further inspection, those taps were probably bluegill nipping at the plastic, because there were some bluegill beds that were back there. This is way, way back there. Fished around this one beaver hut for a little while, and this is when my wife decided to take her nap. And man, it was really great. Second place I had gone to, immediately laid into 2 rock bass that didn't make the cut, released them. Then hooked into a bluegill that did make the cut. Measured that puppy, what was it, 7.5 inches, something like that. I'll take it. Hey, You know, who's not going to take it? A point's a point. That's all I'm saying. Then I caught one of the smallest yellow perch I've ever caught. I actually caught 2 or 3. Super tiny, like 4 inches long, just absolutely tiny. Hammered the Bronco blade. I then figured what I would try to do is like isolate the bites and omit those smaller fish. And I was kind of hoping I would hook into either a pickerel or any bass that would count, and any largemouth anyway that would count. And it was not the case. Did not line up for me. But hey, it is what it is. I'm happy with it. And so I got 3 points on the board right now. Put a rainbow trout in yesterday, and then I caught 2 other rainbows. These are all like very cookie cutter stalkers, and I kept all of them because my father is making a smoked trout dip for our party that we're going to on Saturday, and I'm like, this is a win-win. This is a win-win. I had so much fun fishing with my dad. Oh my god! And we went to a spot where, like, the first time I ever fished out of a boat or a vessel ever, we went to that spot, that lake. My dad had bought, this was, I think it was an old down kayak, actually, now that I think about it. It was a flat, it had a flat back, this kayak, so you could put a trolling motor on it. And I can remember we would go and set up in this thing, and it was so cramped and so uncomfortable. And yeah, we just, freaking laid into them yesterday. And but I don't know if we ever caught anything actually while we were over at this one spot. But good times. Oh, this is some interesting shit right here. It's gonna take a little bit of concentration, folks. They're doing bridge work here, and it's like, it's a mess. It's a mess. I have one tiny lane, and this boat is just, like, I look at my rear view mirrors, and I can just see the shoulders of the boat. It's a small boat. It is. It's 16 and a half feet long. I figured it out. It's 3 feet longer than my kayak and twice as wide. But the whole deal is, I bought this so I could fish with people. So I'm trying to figure something out for tomorrow, if possible. Aluminum boats bounce like crazy. This one, not so much. I don't know if it's the trailer, if it's what it is, but this one is really, really rigid. Like, it's pretty heavy, I mean, compared to a fiberglass boat, it's unbelievably light, but this boat has some heft. It's a much better experience towing this than towing my kayak trailer. That thing bounced around everywhere. Every single time I did a trip, Jersey, South Carolina, like any of that stuff, and I was taking my kayak, Maryland, it made me wonder, am I going to lose this boat along the way? Because it's just so light, and the trailer itself also so light. It's a little nuts. Anyone want an 18.5-inch tracker? Looking to move one. Dude, I'm telling you, man, like, I think you should, I think what you should do is look into what you need to do to fix it, right? And then figure out if it's ultimately worth it or not. Because I think if you use that boat, it would be a whole other beast, as far as the shit you can do, If you used it. I mean, like you said, though, yesterday, it was used it 8 times in 2 years. Nope. No way. In the last week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, so 5 times in the last 7 days. 8 times in 3 years, that's even worse. Yeah, that's even fucking worse. That sucks, dude. I would absolutely I would absolutely sell that boat then at that point. You know? How much longer do you have to pay? If you've only had it for 3 years, yeah, you got quite the loan there. Oh, hey, Daddy. I know a guy in Mass that has a new Lund. Yeah, that's true. You do. You do. We should do a Jigs and Bigs tourney recap. Huh. Scavenger hunt? Or no. You're talking about a recap for the slot limit tournament. I'm gonna get here and I'm gonna go back the back way. Yeah, I like that idea. Just take over Bobby's and make him watch. Dude, I am looking for somebody to interview me. I want to do a Hack Jigs and Bigs episode. Bad. I really do. You know? I think that shit could be fun. Part of me thinks that Joe, like, I got to figure out how to fit Joe in to the whole play. You know? Is it going to be somebody hacks the podcast and interviews both myself and Joe, or what are we going to do? I'll do it. Hit me up. I know you'll do it, Binya. I kind of want to bring someone, although actually I could have different people do it and it could be a completely different experience entirely. I got a question for you guys. I'm interested in doing a topic probably next spring, a very particular week of next spring that I would just love to have a conversation with cannabis enthusiasts that fish. I want to talk about this. You know, I know that there's a lot of people in the fishing community that are very, very like hush, hush, hush about cannabis. But I'll tell you what, man, nothing puts the cherry on top of a great day of fishing than, you know, like having yourself your favorite method of, you know, ingesting your favorite strain, you know? Wait, St. Nick, you're there for what? You guys freaking making it happen, man. You know, the one thing I was debating doing tonight was actually dropping the boat, and I'm not doing it because I don't have the electronics yet. I kind of wanted to drop the boat into the Connecticut River and head down, and a spot lock would also be really good too. Head down and watch the Springfield fireworks from the river. Like that, I've always wanted to do that. Maybe next year it'll be something in the cards, but. I love this. Shit's coming together. Yes. See, I think Hayes would be the guy. I do. Because I also think that, like, I know that Andrew puts Tackle Talk into this very clean, family-friendly sort of box. I would like to have Andrew on Jigs and Bigs and just let loose. You know what I mean? Just let loose. You know? I think that would be amazing. You know what? I should reach out to him. I should absolutely do that. You miss it? Miss what? Sometimes I just smoke and sit on a rock. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. You do a combination of sitting on a rock and just being blazed, being zooted. Oh. I will say this much. I haven't been using vapes much anymore. And that was my preferred method when I was on the kayak. for my little fish whistle game. Take a rip off the vape, catch a fish, take a rip off the vape, and then by the end of the day, you're like, wow, I'm freaking hammered. I'm a mess. Or you're like, well, that kind of sucked. I didn't catch any fish. Kind of odd. But I'd like to have a conversation about like the relationship with fishing and cannabis. I also think that like going on a hike and doing a bank send while you're zooted is just awesome. It's absolutely amazing. I have been refraining with the boat, obviously, because I have a lot to learn. Need a rod holder bong for the beef boat. Talk to John. I'll see what we can do. Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Where do you guys think I should travel this winter? I want to try to do 2 trips if I can. Long weekends, nothing crazy. I'm thinking a drive of up to, really, I would do a drive up to about 20 hours. Because I could break that up. I could go with somebody and we could drive in shifts, take the boat down. So I don't have to worry about kayaks or anything like that. Miss smoking. Yeah, I hear you. You know what, Zach? I don't think I've ever seen you lifted since I've known you. I don't think so. Nothing beats a doobie, that's for sure. That is for sure. Yeah, I'm curious. Where do you guys think I should go this winter? I've done Chickamauga. That was amazing. We did Jordan in North Carolina. That was awesome. Good time. Terrible fishing, but had a blast. Can't beat South Florida. We could also do a rookie game show. Oh, ice trip, huh? God, I haven't done any real ice fishing in forever. I dabbled a couple years ago, went out with Nelson and his whole crew that he goes out with. We had a great time. It's a lot of fun. I don't know. I've kind of toying around with going to Texas. Kind of toying around with that. Florida, not even South Florida, just Florida in general, I think is great, especially like for like a largemouth trip. I would go back to South Carolina in a second. I haven't been to South Carolina in quite some time. I go back to North Carolina as well. And of course, I'm going to be in Tennessee, to tell you the truth. I'm going, that could be one of the trips. My family, we are doing a holiday trip, a Christmas trip in the Smoky Mountains. And there could be some fun stuff to be had there. See, that's the biggest thing for me, Zach, is the work element. So if I'd love to just go and take an entire week or 2. Happy 4th, Mike. I'd like to be able to do that and travel and get out there and do these trips. But the problem is I don't have paid time off. That's the downside of owning your own business. So really what I'm trying to do is get the podcast to start bringing in revenue so that I can offset the time I have to take. Because it's a lot. I take a few days and I'm out a significant amount of money. So it's tough to do some of these trips. I also, there's another thing I do want to do, and I had mentioned this. Michael, man, do you really watch podcasts every week? There's one trip that I do want to do, and I've been talking with Debo about this for a little while. I had, what was it? I had been talking with Debo about doing a kayak trip for forever. you know? And that might actually still happen. I think that would be a really good time. I'd love to go out to the Midwest, man. I'd love to do a trip to Minnesota, fishy state, Wisconsin. I'd love to go to Wisconsin and fish, you know? What's nice is the boat allows me to go and just network with folks and not have to be picky about, oh, well, I've got a kayak, you know, what's the situation? Or, you know, I also never wanted to be that guy that was like, hey, I'll come and we can fish. We'll take your boat. You know what I mean? I'm not that guy. You know, and Mike, you mentioned blocking the Binia account. God damn it. I don't even know how to undo that. I believe it's because I did it through StreamYard is the real issue. But who knows? It's crazy. Oh my goodness. Well, folks, I'm going to wrap this sucker up here. I'm almost home. Just got to back the trailer in and then bring dinner in to my lovely lady. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic 4th of July. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid. Don't hang on to the firecrackers. Let them go and get away. Back up, Terry. You know what I'm saying. We will see you guys, all right? Shit's going to go down. And thanks so much. This was a fun little live. I'll see you guys on the live stream for recording the Jigs and Bigs podcast, episode 226. That is happening Sunday evening. And it's going to be good stuff. Take care. Have yourselves a good one, guys.